Joining us now, Texas Congressman Ron Paul, a Republican presidential candidate. Nice to have you with us, sir.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
On the campaign trail, you were quoted as saying, Washington is on the brink of dictatorship. What led you to that belief?
Well, it was at a function where I was talking about the need for, in the Old Testament, to have a king. And the king was supposed to substitute for God. And all of a sudden, when they accepted the king took care of them and, of course, taxed them and used them in war and all these things. They got to thinking, that's a lot of what's happening to us. We don't have a king, but we sort of have that much power in Washington. We expect to be taken care of from cradle to grave. We don't have privacy anymore. Our young people are off fighting wars. We're going broke. We don't have honest money. So we do in many ways have a dictatorship, but not in the militant sense that some people think so. But we have a very, very strong national government. So you can really, literally, in a pure democracy, elect your king. So I think that we are moving in that direction, that we have very little personal liberties left.
Talk about the debt limit, the debt ceiling. What kind of spending constraints would you insist on before you'd agree to up it?
I would never agree to up it. I just think they should quit spending. No, I'm not going to do that because how can you expect them to? Are they going to promise to cut in the next 5 years? They've tried that before many times, and they're not trustworthy. They'll say they're going to cut, but the only thing that counts is this year. And this current year, our obligations are going up $5 trillion when you add up all the entitlements and the deficits and what we borrow from Social Security. That's what counts, and we've embarked on a horrible course. And they say, well, isn't not raising the debt limit, isn't this a major crisis? Yeah, it's a significant problem, but what is much worse is to continue to spend. So you raise the debt limit, and you don't really cut spending, then you get into a major crisis, which is a dollar crisis, and that's a lot worse than biting the bullet and living within our means.
We don't raise the debt limit. Does this country default on its debt?
Sure, but we're defaulting continuously. We've defaulted many times in the past. All governments default. It's just how the default occurs. Once in a while they don't pay the bills, but that's not the usual way they do it. They default by just printing money. So who's going to be the victim? If we raise the debt limit and we pay off these bills and they're not delayed at all, they get some help. But right now there's a default going on because there's inflation, and the default is on the people because their cost of living is going up and they're losing their jobs. So the default is there. And we've defaulted many times in our past. When we promised to pay in gold, we defaulted 3 times on that issue.
And finally, Congressman Paul Ryan's budget plan is coming under tremendous fire, particularly with his Medicare plan. You say that doesn't go far enough?
Well, I don't think it does much. It's in the next 10 years, you'll cut some trillions of dollars, a little bit more cutting than the Democrats. I think he's getting a bum rap. He's trying to make an honest effort. I have great sympathy for what he's doing, but it's not that much. But just think, this tells me how bad things are, because anybody making even a token effort, look at the anger that comes out and the bad mouth and the demagoguing. That's why we're not going to have cuts. We're going to continue to do it.
How do you save Medicare, Representative?
Well, I don't think it's going to be very easy. Now, I have a program and I have bills in that would have done it. Just, many, many years ago, I had a bill in that refused to allow the Congress ever to spend any of the money that's allotted for Medicare or Social Security. But no, they take it and they spend it, and the money's all gone. So it's probably not salvageable. It'll go as our foreign policy will go once we have runaway inflation and the dollar doesn't work.
Republican Representative from Texas, Ron Paul, and Republican presidential candidate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.